Oakhaven was a town steeped in quietude. Shadows stretched long and languid across cobbled streets. A hush lay heavy in the air, broken only by the rustling of leaves and the distant chime of the church bell. The town seemed to hold its breath, guarding secrets whispered on the wind. Houses huddled together, their ancient timbers groaning with age. Each window held a story, each doorway a passage to the past. The air was thick with the scent of wood smoke and damp earth. A sense of timelessness permeated the very stones beneath one's feet. At the heart of Oakhaven stood Margot's house, a towering relic of a bygone era. Its gabled roof reached towards the sky, its windows like watchful eyes. The house seemed to breathe, its timbers creaking like old bones. It was a place of shadows and whispers, a repository of generations past. Ivy climbed its aged walls, its tendrils reaching like grasping fingers. The garden lay overgrown and neglected, a tangle of thorns and forgotten blooms. A weathered stone path led to the imposing front door, its iron knocker shaped like a raven's head. The house stood sentinel, a silent guardian of Oakhaven's secrets. Margot, a woman etched with the passage of time, resided within the house's aged walls. Her silver hair framed a face lined with the stories of a life well lived. Her eyes, the color of faded cornflowers, held a depth of wisdom and a touch of melancholy. She was the keeper of the house, the inheritor of its legacy. The house had been in her family for generations, passed down from mother to daughter. Each generation had added their own layer to its history, their joys and sorrows woven into the very fabric of the building. Margot had grown up within its walls, her childhood filled with the echoes of laughter and loss. She knew every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind through the eaves. She had inherited the house upon her mother's passing, accepting the mantle of responsibility that came with it. The house was more than just a dwelling, it was a living entity, a testament to the enduring strength of her lineage. She felt a deep connection to the house, a sense of belonging that transcended mere ownership. Margot lived a solitary life, her days filled with the quiet routines of tending to the house and its grounds. She cherished the solitude, the peace that came with being surrounded by the ghosts of her ancestors. She often felt their presence, a comforting weight in the silence of the old house. The house was her sanctuary, her connection to the past. One evening, a fierce storm raged through Oakhaven. The wind howled like a banshee, and rain lashed against the windows of Margot's house. The ancient timbers groaned under the onslaught of the elements. The world outside was a maelstrom of wind and water. Amidst the tempest, a young couple sought refuge at Margot's door. Evelyn, with her fiery red hair and emerald green eyes, shivered in the cold. Ben, her companion, stood tall and protective, his dark hair plastered to his forehead. They were travelers caught unawares by the sudden storm. Margot, her heart touched by their plight, welcomed them in. She offered them warmth and shelter from the raging storm. The flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the walls, creating an atmosphere of both comfort and unease. The storm raged outside, but within the house a strange sense of calm settled. Grateful for the refuge, Evelyn and Ben settled in by the fire. The warmth of the flames chased away the chill of the storm. They shared stories with Margot, their voices mingling with the crackling fire and the howling wind. The house seemed to embrace them, drawing them into its embrace. As the storm raged outside, Evelyn's gaze fell upon a portrait hanging in the dimly lit hallway. The painting depicted a young woman with striking resemblance to Margot, but with an ethereal quality. Her eyes held a faraway look, as if gazing into another realm. Intrigued, Evelyn inquired about the woman in the portrait. Margot explained that the woman was her great-great-grandmother, Lillian, Lillian was known as the Seer of Oakhaven, a woman gifted with the ability to glimpse into the future. Her visions were both revered and feared by the townsfolk. She was a figure of mystery, her life shrouded in whispers and legends. Lillian's story was one of both love and tragedy. She had been deeply in love with a young man named Samuel, but their love story was cut short by fate. Samuel vanished without a trace just days before their wedding, leaving Lillian heartbroken and alone. The mystery of his disappearance remained unsolved, a haunting echo in the annals of Oakhaven's history. Evelyn was captivated by Lillian's story, drawn in by the mystery surrounding her life. She felt a strange connection to the woman in the portrait, a sense of shared destiny. The storm continued its furious dance outside, but inside the house, a different kind of storm was brewing, a storm of secrets and revelations. Later that night, unable to sleep, Evelyn found herself drawn to the attic. A sense of unease settled upon her as she climbed the creaking stairs. The attic was a cavernous space filled with forgotten relics of the past. Dust motes danced in the moonlight, filtering through the grimy windows. The air was thick with the scent of decay and the weight of untold stories. Cobwebs clung to her face as she navigated the maze of forgotten objects. She felt a presence in the attic, a sense of being watched. The silence was broken only by the rustling of unseen things. She stumbled upon an old wooden chest tucked away in a dark corner. Her heart pounded in her chest as she lifted the heavy lid. Inside, she found a collection of Lillian's belongings, a worn leather-bound journal, a silver locket containing a faded photograph of Samuel, and a bundle of dried herbs. As Evelyn examined the contents of the chest, a gust of wind rattled the attic window. The shadows seemed to deepen, and the air grew colder. She felt a shiver run down her spine. A sense of foreboding washed over her as she realized she had stumbled upon something profound, something that could unravel the secrets of Oakhaven. Section 6. The Face in the Frame. Evelyn hurried back downstairs, clutching Lillian's journal and locket. She found Ben asleep by the dying embers of the fire. As she gazed at him, a chilling realization washed over her. Ben bore a striking resemblance to the man in the faded photograph, Samuel. The resemblance was uncanny, almost unsettling. She woke Ben, her voice trembling with excitement and fear. She showed him the photograph, and his eyes widened in disbelief. He recognized the face, a face that haunted his dreams, a face he couldn't place. He had always felt a strange connection to Oakhaven, a pull he couldn't explain. Margot, drawn by their hushed whispers, entered the room. She saw the photograph in Ben's hand, and a knowing look crossed her face. She had suspected this connection all along, a connection woven through the threads of time. The secrets of the house were about to be revealed. The storm had subsided, leaving an eerie stillness in its wake. The first rays of dawn crept through the windows, casting long shadows across the room. The house held its breath, waiting for the truth to be unveiled. Section 7. Threads of Time. Margot began to speak, her voice soft but firm. She revealed the story of Lillian and Samuel, their love, and their tragic separation. She spoke of Lillian's visions, her premonitions of a future intertwined with their descendants. The story unfolded like a tapestry woven with threads of love, loss, and destiny. She explained that Lillian had foreseen a time when their story would repeat itself, when a descendant of hers would meet a descendant of Samuel's. She believed that their love story was not meant to end with tragedy, but to be reborn in another time, another generation. The threads of their fate were woven together, stretching across centuries. Evelyn and Ben listened intently, their hearts pounding in their chests. They realized that they were not just travelers seeking shelter from a storm. They were players in a grand cosmic drama, their lives intertwined with the lives of Lillian and Samuel. They were living echoes of the past. The house seemed to hum with energy, as if the spirits of Lillian and Samuel were present, witnessing the unfolding of their foretold destiny. The air was thick with emotion, a blend of sadness, hope, and wonder. The past and the present converged in that moment, bound by the threads of fate. Section 8. Echoes of the Past. As Margot finished her story, Evelyn and Ben looked at each other, their eyes filled with a mixture of awe and understanding. They had found each other, not by chance, but by destiny. Their love story was an echo of a love story that had begun centuries ago, a love story that had transcended time and space. They felt a deep connection to Lillian and Samuel, a sense of shared experience that defied explanation. They understood the weight of their legacy, the responsibility that came with being part of such a powerful narrative. They were not just individuals. They were vessels of a story that had been waiting to be told. The house seemed to sigh, as if releasing a burden it had carried for generations. The shadows receded, and the air felt lighter. The spirits of Lillian and Samuel seemed to find peace, their love story finally finding its resolution. The echoes of the past faded into the whispers of the present. Section 9. The Unfolding Tapestry. As the sun rose higher in the sky, casting its golden light upon Oakhaven, Evelyn and Ben prepared to leave Margot's house. They carried with them the weight of their newfound knowledge, the understanding of their place in the grand tapestry of time. They knew their journey had just begun. They looked back at the house, a silent sentinel standing against the backdrop of the rising sun. It was a place of secrets and stories, a place where the past and the present converged. It was a place where love had endured, where fate had intervened, and where destiny had unfolded. They left Oakhaven with a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging. They knew that their love story was not just their own, it was a continuation of a love story that had begun centuries ago. They were the inheritors of a legacy, the keepers of a flame that had burned brightly across generations. Their story was a testament to the enduring power of love, a testament to the unending echoes of the past whispering into the future.